So as most of you guys know, a few days ago, the May 4th promo or gift with purchase leaked. It was said to be a Republic escape pod, set number 40765 with 190 pieces, including 3 minifigures, that being young Boba Fett and 2 clone cadets, with a $160 threshold. And I talked about this set more in depthly and gave my full thoughts in this video here, where I went over every set that's releasing on May 1st. However, since I've made that video, some more news has come out, and it turns out that leak was false. And I don't know how that set ended up being false. I heard some people mention that it was just speculation or a guess, and then a leaker took that seriously and put it out. But regardless of why the escape pod was false, what the GWP is actually going to be just leaked this morning, and from what I'm hearing, it shouldn't change again. This is 100% what the set is going to be. And let me tell you, if you thought the escape pod was random, you're in for a big surprise. This year's May 4th GWP is now going to be a Kaminoan Enforcer ship. Still has the same set number and piece count, that being set number 40765 with 190 pieces. However, instead of young Boba Fett and 2 young clone cadets, it's going to have 3 normal clone cadets that were seen on Kamino in episode 2. And I assume the threshold to get this thing is still probably going to be $160. But either way, this choice for a GWP is very obscure. If you don't even know what this ship is, it's the one that was hovering around the background on Kamino in episode 2 when Obi-Wan goes and looks at the clones. I mean, this thing probably had a total of like 5 seconds of screen time, and most of you guys probably wouldn't even recognize this thing if I hadn't have told you what scene it's from. However, despite it being very obscure and random, I guess it does make sense as to why LEGO chose this, because it's on Kamino when Obi-Wan goes and meets Jango Fett for the first time and the Slave One is shown and they have their big battle and whatever. So I guess it kind of makes sense as to why it'll be pairing with the UCS Jango Fett Slave One, but still it's just very obscure, especially the design of the ship itself. It's definitely not like any other Star Wars build LEGO has ever made before, and because of that, it really intrigues me as to how they're going to pull this off. As you can see, it's got a very tall design with this long vertical piece sticking right out the bottom, which makes me wonder if it's going to include a stand or not, or if it'll be able to somehow stand up on its own. Now, as for the 3 figures go, again, they're going to be 3 normal clone cadets that were seen on Kamino in episode 2. I've seen some people wondering if these guys are going to have arm printing, and yes, in a perfect world, they would have arm printing and dual molded legs. If you look up custom versions of this figure that people have made, that's what they have, arm printing and dual molded legs, and it looks really good. However, unfortunately, we're talking about LEGO, especially LEGO in 2025 here, so realistically, these guys are probably just going to be a basic clone head with a hairpiece on a red torso with minimal printing and red legs with no printing. Again, in a perfect world, they would have arm printing and dual molded legs, but to be honest, I'd be dumbfounded if LEGO did that. They're most likely going to be very basic and lazy. But I mean, I guess it is cool that we're getting these guys for once, because LEGO has never made them before, and I honestly thought LEGO never would make them, but I guess this is a good opportunity for them to do it. Anyways guys, that is what the May 4 GWP has changed to. Again, very obscure. For the people that thought the escape pod was obscure and random, you're in for a whole different treat. And at this point, most of you guys know what my opinions are on GWPs and May 4th promos. I think they need to be something that is more niche and more obscure, and not something that has a mass appeal like the droid carrier from last year that a lot of people would want to get their hands on as a normal set. And honestly, I think it's kind of funny because a lot of people were hating on the escape pod for being too random, and now it changed and got even more random, which I think is really funny because a lot of people are probably going to prefer the escape pod over this. But either way, let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you see them on the screen right now.